Just who is the man from Toronto? Well, the man from Toronto is a movie. It's a movie that Sony made, and then they sold it to Netflix. Always a good sign. It's always a good sign when a movie studio makes a movie and it stars Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson, and they're like, you know what? Let's see if we can dump this movie onto Netflix. Always a good sign, because studios, they always make sure to dump their best product onto Netflix. They're known for that. They're known for taking their absolute favorite films, the ones that are testing really well with audiences, and they're like, guys, this film is going to open to like 100 million at the box office. I'm going to sell it to Netflix. And people are like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. That's such a good idea. No, of course, that's not the case. So, but I also would like to say, Sony, what is your problem? Because I don't think this movie would not have made money. Were you so afraid because last year The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard didn't make money at the box office? So you were like, ooh, I don't know if there's an audience for this anymore. It's like, dude, the pandemic has killed theaters, and we got like one movie opening per weekend now. They're so starved for product. This movie easily would have made money. I don't know what you sold this to Netflix for, but it probably would have made more money than that. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. So let's get into it. In case you didn't see the log line for this, I'm Mac the Movie Guy. It's my website. I'm John Stark. I've got like 2 names. I'm one of those weird people. It's like a split personality thing. So half of me is John Stark, and the other half is Mac the Movie Guy. And that's not what that means. I'm a blind film critic, and blind, not blonde. And so I didn't get to see special effects, so I didn't get to see the action sequences. And for this film, I don't know, maybe if you can see and you're like, ooh, I really want to know, does Woody Harrelson punch well? I don't know. I don't know that I would have picked Woody Harrelson for this, but I also know he wasn't originally cast in this role. I can't remember who exactly was cast in this role, but I want to say it was like Dave Bautista and Kevin Hart. I feel like it was an actual action star, and they like downgraded to Woody Harrelson, who actually feels like an upgrade in many ways, but I'll get into that. So, The Man from Toronto is about this guy, Terry, who is, I don't know, he's not much is going on in Terry's life. He's trying to sell things. He's trying to invent things. At the beginning of the film, we have him, because Kevin Hart's so short, he's trying to invent like a pull-up bar for short people, because he's like, 'cause sometimes you can't reach, and this is like an adjustable pull-up bar, and of course it doesn't work, and it's supposed to be hilarious that this adjustable pull-up bar that he's invented fails. And then he's also invented something that he's trying to sell to this guy who he's worked at his gym, and it's no contact boxing. It's just shadow boxing. That's all it is. He basically has just invented shadow boxing. So the guy's like, no, your idea is dumb. And by the way, when you did my marketing, you didn't put my address or my phone number on anything. So how the fuck are people going to find my gym? So he gets fired. But it's his girlfriend's birthday, and they're trying to get pregnant. So he's rented a cabin, and he heads off to the cabin to get it ready for the birthday celebration. At the cabin, he gets a little, discombobulated, and he ends up at the wrong place. And he ends up at this place where they're expecting an assassin. They're expecting the Man from Toronto. And so they think that Kevin Hart, this tiny-ass loudmouth dude, who's constantly cracking jokes, um, is an assassin, and that's kind of where the film lost some points for me, because Kevin Hart didn't really do anything in that scene in order to. That scene didn't even play out very well for me. Um, he comes in and he's got some shit with him, like, because he's setting up for what he thinks is, his girlfriend's birthday, or his wife's birthday. And there's this guy there who I guess he thinks is just going to give him the cabin and leave. And he puts down this box and he's got champagne, and the guy's like, "What's the champagne for?" And he's like, for celebrating." And he's like, "Well, that's, I thought that, you got the job." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm celebrating before. We're gonna open that up before." And he's like, "Oh, that's okay." And then he looks through Kevin Hart's box, which I guess he thought was gonna have tools for assassination, and fucking Kevin Hart brought an eggplant with him. What are you gonna do with a fucking eggplant, dude? Seriously, like, what? Like, I understand the lube and I understand the whipped cream, but did you bring the pots and pans? Were you gonna make some eggplant parmesan, or is that just supposed to be an emoji joke? Was the eggplant supposed to just be like a visual gag for people to be so that they could be like, "Oh, get it? Because it's an eggplant, like in an emoji." And it's like, who does that? Who would go out and buy an actual fucking eggplant and take it and be like, "Guess what I got you for your birthday? I got you a real eggplant because I've been sending you all those emojis of eggplants. And guess what? For the first time, I didn't actually mean my dick. I meant this actual eggplant." It's just like, I mean, like, he doesn't even have stuff with him to cook dinner. So it's like, what does this eggplant, what is he gonna do with the eggplant? It's ridiculous. Anyway, so he finds this guy with champagne, lube, whipped cream, and an eggplant, and he's like, "Yes, this dude is obviously an assassin. This tiny little dude is obviously the assassin I've been looking for. Must be. Could not be a case of mistaken identity. I'm not going to ask him any more questions. I'm just going to take him down and let him do his thing." So, of course, that's where the case of mistaken identity comes into play. And people think he's the man from Toronto, and the FBI comes in, and then they find out, they're like, "Oh, you're not really," and he's like, "No, it's just, I thought I rented this cabin for," and so then they use him to try to smoke out the real man from Toronto, who happens to be, guess what, Woody Harrelson. And then when Woody Harrelson realizes what's happened and what's going on, he realizes that he now has to use Kevin Hart because the people he's doing the job for think he's the man from Toronto, inexplicably. So he has to finish the job by going through the motions with Kevin Hart and kind of like coaching him through the steps along the way. And that becomes kind of the movie. It's a buddy assassin movie. Opposites attract, assassin buddy movie. I don't know what to call it, but it's ridiculous. And the best thing I can say is, if you like The Hitman's Bodyguard, then you'll probably like this. It's got the same sort of dynamic where this is a star vehicle. It's literally, this film is written so that Kevin Hart can just do Kevin Hart. I'm sure that there are scenes of dialogue where like there's like a generalization of what he's supposed to say, and Kevin Hart just like does his thing where he just kind of talks really fast and finds ways of doing that. I don't know if he actually has somebody that goes in and punches up scripts for him and makes all of the dialogue on the page actually sound like Kevin Hart, or if Kevin Hart just like goes on and just does his thing. I feel like he probably just does his thing in the moment, And Harrelson just feels like every Woody Harrelson role that you've seen him play before. I don't know. This is not really a stretch. I wouldn't say he's deeply acting in this film. This is not one of those films where I'm like, ooh, that's a very different role for him. It just kind of felt like he was just doing his thing, being himself. It kind of felt like the role wasn't really meant for him, but he just kind of adapted into it. And then they were like, yeah, just be you. And that's kind of how the film rolls, is he just is himself. And that's what the film gives you. If you like Woody Harrelson, if you like Kevin Hart, then you'll like this movie. I know Kaylee Cuoco's in this, but it's not nearly as relevant to the plot as Woody and Kevin Hart. So, really just Kevin Hart. I mean, he's got that very special brand of comedy. So if you like it, you'll like this film. If you don't like it, you're going to find him annoying. It's got some action in it. It's got some violence in it. I'm guessing it's rated R, just based on some of the violence and profanity. I can't see how this film would be rated PG-13. And I don't know how cool the action sequences are. That's why I was saying, like, I feel like this role was written for, like, Jason Statham or something. It was just, I feel like it was written for somebody who could do the fight scenes, and now they put Woody Harrelson in them, and I don't know if he's using a stunt double. I don't know if he trained. I don't know if Woody Harrelson is actually this unsung action hero that we just had no idea until now. But that's that. It was fine. Compared to a lot of the films that Netflix has been regurgitating this year, and just like shitting upon the world, everything from Marmaduke to that Spiderhead movie to Interceptor to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Brazen. I mean, I hated Rescued by Ruby. They've just lots of films that I have not liked coming out of Netflix. It's ironic that they needed to buy something from Sony to get a to get a decent film, and it's funny that Sony had no faith in this film. I mean, was it going to get a certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes? No. I'm going to guess this film probably is in the 40s or 50s on Rotten Tomatoes. It's going to fall short of the 60s. It's going to be certified rotten. And if I had to guess on an IMDb, people tend to rate straight to streaming films lower than theatrical releases nowadays. I could see it in the high 5s, low 6s because of that. So that's kind of where it is. I liked it a little bit better than that because I don't punish movies for going to streaming. It wasn't the movie's fault. It's Sony's fault. The movie didn't do anything wrong. So that's it. It's serviceable. It's fine. It feels, I've seen other films that were funny and okay and made me laugh and did what they were supposed to do, and I was entertained this year. Like The Lost City, it's kind of on the same level as that for me. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, there are films that they did what they were supposed to do. It turned my brain off for 2 hours and I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. So there you go. The audio description for the film was well written. He is called Toronto the whole time, as are the other assassins that are apparently, this is a film universe where everybody just is named based on the city that they came from. So that was kind of weird. We do get action sequences and lots of punches thrown and stuff. So it's kind of involved audio description. I would say that this would be a hard film to watch without audio description. So I was grateful to have it. I've tried multiple times to understand who the name of the describer is, but unfortunately my screen reader talks at the exact same time as the audio description talent is being read off. So I I can't figure out who the narrator is. It's people talking at the same time. And of course, I can't get to the film without my narrator, so it's like a two-way street. I love that we always have to have this thing before the credits to like kick me out. Like, the movie's done, you don't need to watch the credits. It's like, some people enjoy the credits. Some people are looking for, what song was that? Who else was in the cast? Who played what role? People are looking for things like that. So just assuming that nobody ever wants to watch credits is kind of an annoying thing to do across all platforms. That's it. That's my Man from Toronto review. I'm going to give this film a B. I'm probably being kind to it. I kind of feel bad for it in a way, because I feel bad that it got shoved straight to streaming, because I think it would have been fine in theaters. I think Kevin Hart has enough fans that this would have been fine. So, anyway, check it out. Don't check it out. Your life will not change either way. Let me know what you think in the comments. Throw me a like, throw me a subscribe. You can check out my website, macthemovieguy.com. It's pretty sweet. That's what I've been told. It's the new hotness. Also, another new hotness is the audio description project, which lets you know what films have audio description and where they are. It's kind of like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's fantastic audio description and where to find them. The adna.org is, that's where you can find out who narrates things, and maybe somebody will update it with the Man from Toronto shortly so that I can figure out who that narrator is. But it just dropped, so I'm not that optimistic. Anyway, hope you like this video, and I will see you with my next review of I don't know what. I don't plan these things. They just release movies and I watch them, okay? That's all I do.